going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again for another transfer talk show. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment in the chat what you think about the latest transfer news. So yeah, let's get into it, people. Big up everyone obviously already tuning in. Gyokeres joining Arsenal. He early wants Arsenal. Those are the rumors again, back and forth between the two obviously players, him and Sesko. Hopefully we can get a conclusion sooner the better, man. But yeah, I'm just obviously going to read off a couple of the reports I just found obviously in the last couple of hours about Arsenal and Manchester United apparently going back in for Gyokeres, which is going to be very, very interesting, and considering that publicly Fabrizio Romano stated that Gyokeres wants to join Arsenal instead of Manchester United. So that's going to be interesting, man. But yeah, Gary Jacob obviously put a article up I think a couple of hours ago, saying basically explaining the kind of personnel that Arsenal are trying to target this summer in terms of the wingers list. So it says Arsenal are stepping up their pursuit of a winger with Eze and Madueke on the shortlist. Now, everyone knows my thoughts about Madueke. That's a player that I'm not interested in. I don't think he's at the required level or quality for Arsenal to really progress. Eze, on the other hand, is someone I'm definitely interested in. He had a fantastic season for Crystal Palace. Scored in the semi-final of the FA Cup against Aston Villa when they won 3-0. Great goal as well. Scored in the final, the only goal in the final against Manchester City for them to win that FA Cup. And Crystal Palace's first ever trophy. So yeah, he's been a very, very good player for a couple of years now, to be fair. And like I said, like I did in my earlier show in the morning, make sure you go check that out. That Eze, again, is available for £68 million. Apparently can be split into 3 different portions in terms of payment structure, 1 year each, 3 years in total, £20 million each, and then add-ons would be £8 million. So yeah, that is definitely obviously a player I would definitely be interested in. But yeah, they've been put on the shortlist, man. So I'm hoping, to be honest with you, even though they're on the shortlist, I'm praying, hoping, fingers crossed, that it still means we're getting 3 attackers. It still means we're getting a striker and 2 wingers, man. Because again, I don't want it to be a case where it's either or. I feel like there's definitely room in the squad for more than one kind of forward player, especially trying to accommodate Bukayo Saka, making sure he's got adequate cover in that position. Because again, for the last 4 years, he's been playing non-stop, man. So yeah, hopefully we can get some adequate cover for that. But yeah, it goes on to say Morgan Rogers as well as Rodrigo are also on the list of Arsenal's list of wide attackers that Andre Berta is exploring various options for. So yeah, Morgan Rogers again, if someone that really for me, obviously he can play in multiple positions, but I would like to see him in that number 10 role for Arsenal, or even in that like an 8 role, just because I feel like his dribbling ability, getting past certain kind of players in the middle of the pitch, can open up mid to low blocks on a consistent basis. So I think that would be another obviously player I'll be very interested in signing. And I think Aston Villa do have some financial issues in terms of they need to sell maybe a couple first teamers. You've seen the likes of Martinez looking like he might have a move maybe to Manchester United. He was linked earlier on in the transfer window, as well as Ollie Watkins has been linked with a move away the last couple of windows as well. So yeah, it looks like they might have to sell one of their key players, really. I see in the graphic as well about them being kind of in the red when it comes to obviously their situation with their money and stuff. So yeah, that is one to keep an eye on. I'm guessing these kind of players are probably going to cost around the same amount of money in terms of like that 50 to 70 million pound mark. It seems like Eze has been quoted for 68. Madueke, they want 54. Rodrigo is about 70 plus, or maybe a little bit more. And then yeah, Rogers is probably going to be about 60, 70 mil. So you're going to be spending money on them. I'm not gonna obviously beat around the bush about it. But again, with also making these kind of deals where they're kind of getting 5 million for Kepa and obviously these kind of smaller deals, it could be a blessing in terms of them actually trying to get more money invested into the forward line. So that's why they're spending less during the squad replacements, which would make more sense. But yeah, it goes on to say obviously Arsenal have been interested in Anthony Gordon, which is something that I think David Ornstein said before, and a couple of other players, but maybe Sammy Mukbel has said as well. And Nico Williams is obviously the one that everyone knows about. He looks like he's going to Barcelona. They've been interested in them as well, but the cost of both have proven obviously a worry as well. So yeah, I don't think we're probably going to be entering or entertaining them kind of signings, to be honest with you. Nico Williams looks like he's going to be off. And I don't think Newcastle are going to be selling Anthony Gordon, if I'm being honest, man. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Of course, obviously a throwback to Declan Rice and that old obviously tweet for obviously Rice, 100 million plus 5 million add-ons. I think that was obviously 2 years today, which yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. Hopefully we can make a massive signing like that this window as well. But yeah, in other news, Premier League TV coverage will feature touchline interviews with substitution players for the first time next season. Cameras will also be allowed in the changing rooms, but under certain restrictions, which includes never when the manager is delivering team talks. Obviously, that's by the by. You can't have the team talks being delivered live on television. That'd be crazy. But that'll be an interesting feature, to be fair. Substitute players, especially if people are feeling very frustrated, they've been substituted quite early on, or therefore they've not had a good game. It'd be very interesting to see how, obviously, because again, it's going to be fresh off emotion. You've just been substituted. Even when you see before with like managers and certain players, when they've just lost an important game and it's straight after the game, they might say things that they later on regret or probably wouldn't have if they'd calmed down after the game a couple of hours before. So very interesting concept to see them actually getting interviewed within the game, like especially when they might have thought they've been playing well and they've been substituted off. You could maybe get some kind of not subliminal messages to the manager, like what's he kind of doing kind of thing. Or if they're losing the game, it might be a different thing. You already see that at like, I don't know, like at SACKED or Masters Football, where they interview kind of managers or players when the game's going on kind of thing. So I think that'll be a nice little new element, to be fair. A nice little different little element there for sure, man. But yeah, obviously the dressing room, again, I'm not really too sure what it does in terms of showing the dressing room if you can't hear what's going on. But if it's just when they're obviously talking within themselves, and again, you will be able to hear the audio, that might be something a bit interesting as well, man, to be fair. So we'll have to wait and see and have a look at that in the coming obviously weeks and months when the season starts. But yeah, let's get on to obviously other news. Manchester United might be back in the race for Victor Gyokeres. Now, it's saying Victor Gyokeres has an Arsenal change of heart after Manchester United contract. Now, the Gunners may no longer be in pole position to sign the Sporting striker. Now, this is another story that's always evolving. Again, each day it seems like he's going to Arsenal, then he's going to Manchester United, or Arsenal trying to get SACKED and trying to get Gyokeres. But yeah, another article that was obviously written earlier this morning saying Victor Gyokeres has had a change of heart over joining Arsenal this summer, with Manchester United now in pole position to sign the Sporting striker. So yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. The striker is expected to leave Portugal this summer and is at the center of the transfer tug-of-war between the two Premier League giants. So obviously we know that before. Anyway, we know that Manchester United, again, with Ruben Amorim, the former Sporting Lisbon manager, knowing obviously Gyokeres from his time at Sporting last season, obviously season before, there's a connection there. And again, it makes much sense. Ruben Amorim needs a striker. He knows Gyokeres. Gyokeres has obviously scored a lot of goals for Sporting Lisbon in the last 2 seasons. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense, man. But again, like it's obviously reported here, it says it was reported earlier in June that Gyokeres had an officially rejected United and a reunion with the former Sporting head coach Ruben Amorim following Arsenal making their interest clear. So he did actually put Arsenal as a priority during that period of time. But again, I don't know whether that is obviously a concrete thing in terms of if you're going to see Gyokeres really play for Arsenal in the long run, because again, with Sesko still in the picture, the reports always seem to be that Arteta favors Sesko. Sesko's the number one. You never really hear that about Gyokeres, or you always hear about these kind of unofficial bids and stuff like that, but never that he's the first choice. So when you're going off that kind of like speculation, it makes it more clear that it's going to be Sesko rather than Gyokeres. But it is what it is. Portuguese outlet Record claimed that United have made an aware of Gyokeres' decision to snub and move to Old Trafford after talks with the Manchester United player's agent. Gyokeres was then said to be telling friends and family that he will sign for Arsenal this summer. I mean, it's funny when these kind of quotes come out, because who did he tell to then tell the media that this is actually an official thing? Because again, you would be pretty silly to be telling people that you don't trust, then for them to leak it to the media that he's going there, unless he wants that to happen, unless he wants to hurry up Arsenal to make a decision. So he's saying he's going to join them, so it makes out like he's definitely going to join them, kind of thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, man. But despite the Gunners being in talks with both Sporting and obviously RB Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko over some deals before making a decision on one. The Standard Sport understands that Sporting are demanding at least 70 million, which is 59.6 million pounds, to even begin negotiations over a fee, man. So yeah, that is obviously a lot of money, but again, at the same time, it's like if you're offering a lot of money in this mindset, then if you're having a lot of money in this mindset, but when you go into the striker situation, it's going to cost a lot, because again, that striker obviously position is something that a lot of fans, not even just Arsenal fans, a lot of rival fans are saying that Arsenal need to improve on. So again, if it's well known that you need obviously a position, then again, teams are going to charge as much as they can for sure, man. But yeah, this report obviously says that Arsenal were clear favourites to sign Gyokeres despite an opening bid worth 55 million euros, which is 47 million pounds, reportedly rejected. That was obviously claims from I think the Portuguese paper Record said that we obviously bidded and it got rejected. Don't know how true it is, to be honest with you. Not really seen anyone else say that was the case. Just about talk. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But the Mirror can now claim that United are back in the frame and seen by some as the most likely destination for Gyokeres, despite being unable to offer Champions League football. Now, I did say at the time, even when the whole thing was obviously made and blown out of proportion about him rejecting Man United, really what people were saying was that he wanted to go to Arsenal. That was the real kind of thing, rather than saying no to them. He just would rather go to Arsenal compared to Manchester United, which makes sense. Man United are 15th, Arsenal finished second. They're in the Champions League, Man United are not. So it kind of makes logical sense why you want to go to the team where you can play Champions League football in. However, if Arsenal opt to go to another player, then yeah, there's no reason why I can't see Manchester United going in for Victor Gyokeres and him going to Manchester United instead, because again, I don't think he's going to be staying at Sporting. The fact that there's a lot of times during this season or just during this transfer window where you've seen them kind of fall out, and there's been obviously arguments between agents and sporting directors and presidents and stuff. It does not bode well in terms of how he's going to obviously perform at the club long term, man. Arsenal are currently wrapping up deals for Christian Norgard and Kepa Arrizabalaga for a combined £15 million, are expected to set up moves for a striker next week after the PSR deadline passes on June 30th. So yeah, that's what everyone's waiting for, man. That this deadline, this magical deadline that everyone's been waiting for, hovering for, in terms of when are we actually going to be serious to start spending some money on some players. The Gunners are said to be by some to favour Sesko, who can also be a cheaper option, with Sporting digging in their heels over an asking price for Gyokeres. That has reportedly led Gyokeres to reassess other options, of which United is the most prominent. The Mirror reported that intermediaries have made contact on the player's behalf to inform Man United have a change of heart and that he's ready to move to Old Trafford, man. So yeah, I think he's kind of thinking, well, if Arsenal don't hurry up here, I kind of want this kind of thing sorted in terms of my my overall kind of structure in terms of where we're going to be playing. So I think he's probably going to be trying to hurry up the whole ordeal. Big up Cooper, my bro. Big up Tots. Big up yourself. Hope you well, bro. On this afternoon, you got to let me know what you think about the recent reports of Gyokeres apparently picking Manchester United or opting to go to Manchester United because he's not willing to wait for Arsenal to make a decision. According to certain reports, he looks like the favorite to go to Old Trafford now. So yeah, very, very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, obviously, of course. But yeah, for me, I feel like when it comes to something like that, you've got to obviously have a look at the likes of Victor Gyokeres and if he's going to adapt well to the Premier League. Still up in the air. I feel like he should, in terms of the goals he's been scoring, should be obviously a player that really can adjust to the Premier League quite quickly, having already played in England for Coventry in the Championship. But yeah, I think like it should be a kind of foregone conclusion on where he actually ends up. For me, he should be at Arsenal. I think that's the best option we've got at a minute in terms of someone that can score goals, played in England before. And then we go on from there, man. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. We'll have to wait and see for sure. We'll have to wait and see for sure. Obviously, there's been some news about, breaking news actually, about obviously Christian Mosquera having a bid rejected, while Valencia rejecting the opening bid for Christian Mosquera. Obviously, that came in earlier today. Obviously, an article from Ryan Taylor saying, also looking to close the deal for obviously the Valencia centre-back after intensifying their interest for the Spanish under-21 international defender. I didn't actually know he played for Spain, obviously internationally as well. So yeah, under-21s, of course. So yeah, that is very interesting. Also, I've seen an opening undisclosed offer rejected for the 21-year-old. Okay, I might have to put that in the title then. I might have to change that in the title, bro. Let me have a look at this. Let me quickly change that. Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, man. Mosquera bid. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. But But yeah, Mosquera's had a bid rejected. I'm not sure how much the bid was going to be. I was obviously seeing that we were quoting, we were trying to get it less than obviously your normal uh, so I'm just trying to sort this out. Yeah, I know we were trying to obviously put in a bid, and we're trying to get the player lower or more or less than the reported 20 million euro release clause, which again is still relatively quite cheap. But again, I think we we're trying to get it a bit lower than that. So it'll be interesting to see how much money we're actually going to willing to spend on this guy. Again, it's reported that he's only got 1 year left. So is it a case where because he's only got the 1 year left on his contract, can we kind of put the price down to the point where it's kind of a cheaper option for us? But again, I don't know how much they're willing to obviously accept, and I don't know how much he's actually worth, guys, because again, like I said in my earlier stream, I don't know, I've never actually seen him play, so I don't know if he's actually worth the money, if he's worth actually bidding a lot of money for. Is he going to be a guy that's going to develop into a top centre back? I'm not too sure what kind of role he's going to be playing. Obviously, at the minute, it will be like a backup to Saliba Gabriel. But again, long term, is he going to be a guy that you need to invest heavily in because he's going to turn out to be a superstar? I have literally no idea. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that actually goes. But yeah, let me just obviously change this title. Bid for Mosquera rejected. But yeah, man. But yeah, I'm interested to see how quickly you can get this done. To be honest with you, for the simple fact that yeah, it just seems like I was about to say that we're trying to just drag our heels a little bit, man. Big up 8K. It says hi Arsenal United. Sorry, hi United. Newcastle United should sign Trafford, Elanga, Pedro should sign for Newcastle. 125 million pounds for a deal for Newcastle now. Yeah, that would be obviously a good signing for them for sure. I don't know if they're going to get it over the line though, to be honest with you, for the simple fact that yeah, I had a feeling that they've got some PSR issues as well. Do you know what I mean? In terms of what they need to be doing, man. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to obviously continue with that. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, but yeah, man. In terms of obviously what I was saying before, yeah, Mosquera had a bid rejected apparently, and yeah, it's looking like Arsenal are going to have to try and bid a bit more, man. I mean, we've got the money, like I said, unless we're saving it for a striker, we've got the money to try and pay this thing off. Really and truly, you really want this deal done as quickly as possible so we can move on to the main ones, bro. And again, it's one of those things where if you accumulate these kind of deals with the massive signings and we end up getting 7 or 8 players in, which is what we probably need, if we're being honest, to really boost the squad, then you're looking at it thinking, well, okay, this has been a decent window, to be fair. If we get the, obviously, if we strengthen in the areas that we need to strengthen in, whether you like the players or not, at least you've addressed the areas. Obviously, at bare minimum, Arsenal don't even address certain areas where we don't even get players in for. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that would be a massive upgrade for sure, man. That would be a massive upgrade for sure. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, man. But obviously, boom. Let me just carry on. But yeah, the 21-year-old, he's actually turned 21 today. So happy birthday to him, I guess, if he's going to be a future Arsenal player. He's turned 21 today. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, obviously, over the summer window in terms of when does he come off holiday? Is he back in training already? Like, what is the kind of the situation is? Can he actually join us for preseason if we get the deal done quick enough? But yeah, it says RB Leipzig has been leading the charge for the Spanish youth international, who has recently been away, or that's what I just said, in the under 21s European Championship for Slovakia, sorry, before the Bundesliga outfit pulled out of the runnings over financials. So Leipzig were gonna try and buy him, but they've pulled out for whatever reason. Arsenal's pursuit of Mosquera is not relative to those developments, however. And the Spanish sources insist Berta's first established contact to register the Gunners' interest in early May. So this has been a deal that nearly has been 2 months in the making, according to this report, which is very, very interesting. So it's taken a while to obviously become public, but again, better late than never, I guess. But Mosquera, who can also play at right back, who's viewed as a perfect understudy to William Saliba, has also attracted admirers at Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid. So again, that's a plethora of different teams where there's a couple of obviously high standards there. There's a couple of Champions League. Well, I mean, they're all Champions League level teams, really, which is obviously a good thing. It's not like if I'll be a bit worried if it's like he's been attracting interest from Wolves and do you know what I mean? Them kind of teams. Crystal Palace, no disrespect to them, but obviously they're not really on the usher end of the totem pole in terms of teams that you really want to be attracted to, players that you're trying to get to. So yeah, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid have been the guys, which makes sense. It says, however, also now advancing in discussions are understood to be hopeful that an agreement could be struck for a cut price, potentially under £17 million, €20 million, because Mosquera is set to enter the final year of his contract next week. So yeah, that's what I was kind of saying, bro. Like in terms of a market opportunity, like the buzzwords everyone likes to use. But in terms of the market opportunity, I guess this is all kind of one where also thinking they can get a guy that can be covered for Saliba Gabriel on the cheap. And yeah, under 17 mil would be relatively cheap. I'm guessing we've probably offered the likes of 10 to 15. One sec, man. I've just got a call coming through. One sec. Oh, no, it's cool. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I had a call coming through, but it was all right. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. Boom. Valencia have been keen to tie Mosquera down to fresh terms, but the dialogue between the parties have stalled over recent months as the player was reluctant to include a sizable release clause in any deal, as it may have been priced him out of a move later at a later stage. So yeah, that's very, very interesting as well. So the La Liga club, who are battling financial problems, had still vowed to make Mosquera a competitive contract over following face-to-face talks with his agent earlier this month, but the proposal is still yet to have arrived, and the highly coveted defender is now giving his priority to Arsenal, with personal terms considered a formality. Pardon me. Yeah, it makes sense for him to go to Arsenal, to be fair. Champions League club. He's going to give you more money. He might not play as much, but again, he probably might improve as a player more if he goes there, if I'm being honest, because there's better players around him to teach him, especially defenders and stuff. So yeah, problematically for Valencia, they're also trying to fight off interest for their other two centre-backs. Bro, they're in the, not even in the mud, but they're fighting the trenches at the minute, bro. They received reproach from Bologna and Feyenoord for the other centre backs, respectively. Mosquera represents their most valuable asset, as they may attempt to drive a hard bargain. Their negotiation position is also significantly weakened by the fact that Mosquera is keen on joining Arsenal, and he'll be a free agent in 2026 if they refuse to sell. So yeah, that's the one thing where I've probably noticed over the last year or two, probably the last year, I'd say that clubs are now starting to go to the player first to make them agree to join to us. So then it kind of softens the players, like the teams that are selling their kind of approach in terms of, well, we know you've got a player that literally wants to join us. Like, you might as well just again weaken your stance and let us get a deal that everyone's happy with, because again, the player wants to leave, you want the money, we need to obviously give you the money to buy the player. So yeah, it's kind of a new tactic, but it seems like it's working for some players, to be fair, because again, once you get the player on side, they're more willing to maybe put in a transfer request, maybe make it a bit more difficult for them to sell, maybe obviously make it public that they want to leave. This all kind of puts down the price overall for the said kind of player in it. So yeah, that makes kind of sense. It obviously came out yesterday from, I think, Hand of Hers on another obviously outlets as well, that the player is keen to join. And again, his contract's running out, and then he's already agreed personal terms. So that's obviously a step in the right direction if you're obviously an Arsenal fan wanting to get this guy. Also, I've already completed early deals for Martin Zubimendi and goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga. Only official announcements are pending, and Brentford captain Christian Norgard is also set to sign on the dotted line at the Emirates following a breakthrough in talks with Brentford on Wednesday. It's funny how obviously these things are not obviously been made official yet, and they probably won't do now. It's Friday of time of recording. So yeah, Friday the 27th of June, I think it is, or 28th. I'm not even sure, man. Whichever. But yeah, obviously July is next Tuesday. So yeah, it's funny how obviously people are going to be probably waiting until then for it to be a kind of an official thing, man. Birds has been scanning the market for defensive opportunities for Mikel Arteta, who has been stressing he wants to improve his squad depth at centre back with obviously Crystal Palace Mark Gay and Club Brugge defender Joe. I'll call him Joe O. Also among the list of options that have been considered. Interest in versatility, Dutch under 21 star Gerald Hato remains ongoing, but at this stage, any deal would be dependent on the futures of Zinchenko and Kivior, plus Ajax's potential asking price. So yeah, man, a lot of information there in terms of what Valencia want to be doing and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, man. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new already. All of that good stuff. But yeah, obviously just talking about the bid for Mosquera being rejected. And yeah, it does look like we're going to be going in for another bid. I feel like this deal will get done, if I'm being honest, man. I think, again, they're trying to drive a bit of a harder bargain, maybe, because they know, like this article says, it's their last kind of real asset they can sell before they can obviously strengthen their own team. So, yeah, it might take a bit more than Arsenal were anticipating, but I can't imagine it's going to be anything more than, like they said, the reported £20 million release clause. I think it probably will maybe end up being maybe like a 15 or 13 plus, I don't know, 6 or 7 million add-ons or something to round it up to that 17, 18 million pound mark, I would assume. Which, again, I don't know if Arsenal willing to pay that, but again, if it's a backup and it's someone that can fill in and is young and it's someone that can really mature and improve, it's great. I mean, I feel like Lee Judge has made a good point earlier on in the stream, big up him and Dan Potts, where he said that basically, because obviously we've got already ready-made centre-back options that we're happy with, where this signing is like, okay, cool. Like, it's just someone that's going to strengthen the squad depth. Whereas because Thomas Partey left and Norgard came in, the difference between that kind of scenario is like we're losing a player that's not as good or he's better than the player that we're getting in, kind of thing. That's how it feels like. So, yeah, man, it's all about strengthening the squad at this stage, in my opinion. So, but again, I can't really complain. As long as we get it over the line, then that's all that matters, man. Big up Carlos. He says, back again, blood. Back again. Big up yourself, as always, on this Friday afternoon, man. Big up 7 on DR. Remember when our manager said, over my dead body, and he's dead, he's a dead man walking. Yeah, bro, that was crazy. You know what it is? Because that was so unprovoked as well, because no one actually told him to say. Because I think the whole general, obviously, summary of the whole situation was that Liverpool were going to win the league anyway. So when he came out and said, over my dead body, and then we actually got worse. We actually started dropping more points than we were before. Obviously, he said that, man, which is crazy work. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, man, it says laughing emoji. Lee Judges on Arteta. We are terrible, but hey, I don't want this manager out. Big up Lee Judges, man. Obviously, I've known him for a while, man. But yeah, he's got his opinions. Obviously, he's a passionate fan, and he says his emotions, how it is in it. So yeah, sometimes he's in, sometimes he's out. But yeah, it's one of those ones, man. It just depending on obviously how the team does, really. If I'm being honest, man. But yeah, big him up every single time though. Anyway, hope he's well. And yeah, Vidic says Swiss women's team lost 7-1 to under 15 boys team. Is that actually true? That is crazy, man. That is nasty work if that's true, bro. Nasty work. Obviously, Vidic, I don't know if you've seen me talk about Victor Gyokeres. I'll probably just go through it quickly again. Just talking about, apparently he could be on his way to Manchester United. According to this report, it says Victor Gyokeres has Arsenal change of heart after Manchester United contact. Apparently, the Gunners may no longer be in pole position to sign the Sporting striker. According to this report, it says he's got a change of heart over joining Arsenal this summer, with Manchester United now in pole position to sign the Sporting striker. The striker is expected to leave Portugal this summer and has been in the centre of a tug-of-war between the two Premier League giants. So yeah, and talking about obviously him officially rejecting United in June and whatnot, and then obviously him snubbing a move to Old Trafford and telling people and family and friends that he's apparently joining Arsenal as well. But again, it's saying that now, the Mirror is claiming that now Man United are back in the frame and seen by most as most likely to for them to join, obviously Gyokeres to join them despite not having Champions League football. So yeah, man, we'll have to see, bro. We'll have to see what happens with that, man. But again, I always thought that you guys might probably sign him, to be fair. Man said, I don't listen to fake news. If it's true that Bum rejected us already, I ain't taking him. Man, bro, you man keep a grudge, innit? Bro, that's crazy. Nah, I hear it, though. I hear it. You're standing on it. Big up Arsenal fans. He says, hi, hope you're well. Hope you're good. Make sure you guys like the video if you've not already. But yeah, in terms of the fake news thing, I don't know. I still think you're going to sign him still, you know. I think it's going to be Sesko, Arsenal. You man will get Gyokeres. Where is Osterman, by the way? Is there actually any kind of news of Osterman? Like, let me type it in. I don't know. Bro, why is this guy not being linked with anyone? It's so weird. I just checked his stats here. 26 goals in 30 games in obviously the Turkish league, which is not the greatest league, but you could argue it's better than the Portuguese league. Arguably, you could argue in terms of it being competitive. But yeah, man, there's no real there's no links, man. It says it's impossible. Igalo makes Victor Osimhen admission. I mean, transfer links. This is not so. Okay. So this is obviously there's some more transfer news here. I don't know. Yeah, this don't look legit to me, but again, I'll share it. Whatever. He's just saying Victor Osimhen to Man United, significant work. Significant work done after 160 pound offer. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Manchester United reportedly remain in the race to sign Napoli forward Victor Osimhen, despite intense reports of some move to Al Hilal. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's obviously on transfer or football transfers. That's his supposed net worth or whatever, 67.9 million euros. So yeah, it's gone down a lot, man. Because I remember a couple of seasons ago, especially for the Napoli season, you were getting quoted 100, 120. I remember that, man. All summer, because that's when the season we signed Kai Havertz was the year we were linked with him very hard. I remember that I can't remember what Twitter account it was saying that, oh yeah, the reason we didn't get a striker even that season and before we got Havertz was because we were waiting for Osimhen, blah blah, yada yada yada. Same old, really. And yeah, we never ended up going for him. So it's crazy, man. This is according to TBR Football, who stated that Osimhen can't be ruled out as a possible Manchester United signing, despite the fact that Al Hilal are pushing to finalize a deal for the Napoli striker, man. But yeah, bro, I need to know where this guy's been, bro, because again, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. He says his wages are too much somehow to outbid a Saudi contract. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he wants. Apparently, again, he was quoted of wanting 400k. I don't know how obviously realistic or real it was, but apparently that was the rumors, in it, that he wanted 400k a week, which again, I don't think Chelsea were willing to pay. We weren't willing to pay it. I don't think Man United are going to be willing to pay, especially with Rashford and Sancho on that much as on a lot of obviously on at the minute. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Man said the pro Saudi league failed to reach an agreement in early June, but they have now submitted a contract proposal worth a potential 160 million across 4 years. So obviously that's the wages and I'm guessing the fee as well. And Osimhen is set to engage in negotiations with Inzaghi once he returns from his holidays. There's no way he's gonna go, bro. The guy's 26, man. No way he goes. I know obviously Durang went Saudi as well, but I think this is a different level in terms of guy. This guy's literally entering his prime, bro. 37 goals and 8 assists in 41 games at loan at Galatasaray. He could become the latest high-profile star to secure a lucrative contract in Saudi. Listen, I'm not saying you don't have to get the bag, but bro, Saudi's going to be there in like 3 or 4 years' time. You could literally get a big move in Europe, surely, and then go Saudi when you're like 30, 31, and it's still going to take you for sure. I wouldn't understand this deal, but yeah, it says Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool have all touted as a potential Premier League suitors for Osimhen, in addition to Manchester United, while Juventus have earmarked him as their dream replacement for Dusan Vlahovic. However, Al Hilal are currently the front runners for his signature. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable, Jeff. But yeah, obviously he's talking about Manchester United. They will likely have to trigger the 75 million pound, million euro release clause included in his Napoli contract, in addition to him offering a bumper salary of 12 million euros per year. That is a lot of money, man. Over 4 years as well, bro. I mean, do the math on that. That is kind of crazy. That is kind of mad still. That is kind of mad, bro. That is literally like 500. Yeah, that would be. How much would that be? 250? I'm trying to quickly do the maths, innit? Obviously that would be $1 million a year. Well, sorry, $1 million a month. So yeah, it would be 250k. Which ain't actually too bad, actually, to be fair, thinking about it now. He told his YouTube channel early this month. Number 9, they already know who I want. The comments know, the people know who I want, who I would go get. Obviously, that's Rio Ferdinand saying it. I would go get Osimhen. It looks like he turned down Al Hilal. He must be waiting for Man United. I don't know if Man United are going to come. That's the problem. I don't know if you, man, can afford him as well without getting rid of Rashford, man. I feel like you're going to have to get rid of one of those two before you kind of set eyes on him, to be honest with you. Man said, I hate bums who want the huge wages like their prime Messi or Ronaldo. Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? I feel like it depends who you're asking to give you those huge wages for. Well, if they're linked with Saudi like clubs, and I don't blame them in it, because, again, you can see why they're going to be linked with them in it. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like Saudi are willing to spend this kind of money on these players. Then, yeah, you can really kind of hear it. But when it's not, and it's like players or teams that are not notoriously known for spending or splashing cashes on wages, like even asking it from Napoli, like Napoli are not a club renowned for spending loads of money on wages and getting like big name signings. You know what I mean? So yeah, to ask them to do it is kind of crazy. Even like Galatasaray are not normally known for doing that as well. So yeah, man, I think it just depends on the club you're asking, like to your agent why. But I guess probably for him, he's probably just asking a flat base fee for like everyone in it. Like, look, this is what I want from you, and make sure you guys deliver. Do you know what I mean? Kind of vibe. Where I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that in it. To be honest with you, I feel like you definitely should be you shouldn't be pricing yourself out and move in it, because again, you could probably get a good team if you just lower your wage demands a little bit, and then you could always ask for a pay rise. You can always put like goal bonuses in, stuff like that, and he's going to get it because he's a goal scorer. So there's all the ways you can get the money, but when you're asking for a large fat base fee, which a team has to obviously commit to paying you week in, week out, season in, season out, it's a bit of a difficult one for sure, man. It's a bit of a difficult one for sure. But yeah, man. Obviously, that is kind of crazy news. Man said that guy Sancho as well. Not only is he one of the worst signings of all time, he's such an unlikable bum, bro. Is there any player at Man United you do like, fam? That's crazy. But yeah, Sancho. But to be honest with you, I don't blame Sancho, innit? It was Man United's fault for putting him on 350k, bro, when he hadn't really done too much. Obviously, he played well in the Bundesliga, but it's not like he was like, I don't know, man, like a Messi, Ronaldo kind of level, Yamal kind of level of talent. Obviously, he was very well rated at the time. He was, to be fair, I remember. But 300k is because he was so young as well. He was like 21, 22. So yeah, it was always going to go downhill from there, man. Always going to go downhill from there for sure. And yeah, it looks like it is, because you can't get rid of this guy, man. You actually can't get rid of this guy. It's actually crazy. There's a couple of teams that actually want him as well, man. I might as well move on to this as well. There's a couple of teams that actually want him. It says obviously, Manchester United face Jadon Sancho sell problem despite two clubs meeting asking price. It says there is plenty of interest in the Manchester United outcast Sancho this summer, but his wages are a huge problem in getting the deal done. The 25-year-old has proved to be a disastrous signing for the Reds, making just 83 appearances since he's 73. That doesn't get spoke about enough, by the way, how much money you wasted on this guy. 73 million pound. Bro, we got cooked more for spending 72 on Pepe, and he was way better than this guy for Arsenal than this guy's been for Man United in 2021. Crazy he's been at the club in 5 years. But yeah, a breakdown in obviously relations with former Manchester United Eric Ten Hag saw Sancho loaned back to Dortmund and then obviously loaned to Chelsea for the entirety of the season. The Blues had an option to make the move permanent, but opted not to, despite the England winger making 41 appearances for them in all competitions. So obviously that was based off the fact that he wouldn't lower down his wages again, because I think Chelsea were keen to keep him on lower wages, which I mean, again, I can see both sides. For him, he's like, well, why am I going to lower down my wages when I don't need to? This is what I've been literally promised and committed to paying, I don't know, 300 plus. And he probably thinking, I'm never going to get this again as well, so I'm not going to put it down when I need to, in terms of like I need to put it down kind of thing. But then at the same time, it's like, well, you're not playing like a £300 a week, that's £300,000 a week kind of player, isn't it? It's more like 100, 150 at best kind of player. So it just makes more financial sense for clubs to offer you that rather than the 300. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it says the London-born winger is now back at Manchester United, but wants to move and the club wants to sell. They are hoping to recoup some of the money spent on him as he heads into his final year. So, bro, you might have to rip up his contract. I can't even lie, bro. You might have, because again, I don't think anyone's going to try and buy him for that much money, considering he's got 1 year left. I just realized that. And his wages, bro. So it's like, you're not getting a massive fee for him. And this is probably why it makes sense why Chelsea got the £25 million kind of fee, because he had 2 years left at the time. And obviously the wages were massive. So now, a year later, with 1 year left, bro, you're probably talking about, if he keeps his wages, I'm talking about, you're probably talking 10, 15, bro, because to subsidize those wages, man, is going to be long. A number of clubs are interested in signing Sancho, most notably in Serie A, where Napoli and Juventus are keen on doing a deal. The Red Devils want 25 million for the winger, and both Italian clubs. So they still want 25, which is what they agreed with Chelsea with the option. Obviously, they opted not to do it. With both Italian clubs are willing to meet that demand, but the players' wages are a problem. Sancho reportedly earns around 250 grand, but I heard it's more. That must be flat, man. That definitely must be flat, because I heard it goes up to 300 and so on. So I'll have to double check that. But yeah, thanks to the bumper deal he signed with Manchester United when he joined Dortmund 4 years ago, neither Juventus or Napoli will pay him that amount and are keen to negotiate a loan deal, bro. How can you do a loan deal when he's got 1 year left, bro? That means he's going on a free. Oh my, you would just terminate his contract, man. Which will see Manchester United continue to cover the same amount of wages. Obviously, reports are saying that Napoli have already held talks with the players' camp, while Sky Italia report that Juventus are organizing a video call with Manchester United to order a thrash out a deal. So these are his statistics in the last, obviously, 3 seasons or 4 seasons, or his Premier League record. So you're looking at, obviously, last year for, I guess this is for Chelsea, 19 appearances in, obviously, the Premier League, 3 goals, 4 assists, nothing to be sniffed out or shout about, to be fair. It's not great, if I'm being honest, man. I mean, to be fair, I think that's 12. Is that 12 appearances from the bench? So obviously it's more than that. I think that's 19 starts. So yeah, you're looking at what? Yeah, crazy, man, actually, when you think about it there. 30 plus appearances and 7 GA. So yeah, not amazing. Then obviously you look at Dortmund. This is at Manchester United, I think, where he only played 3 games and then he was loaned to Dortmund, like I said. Then again, Manchester United, 26 appearances altogether, 6 goals, 3 assists. So again, nothing to be shying about. And then these debut season, he got 3 goals, 3 assists in 29 games, man. So he's not. He doesn't seem to be. He's not prolific, man, at all. Do you know what I mean? He's not even managed to scrape 8 goals together. So yeah, man. So for the money you're on, brother, like the wages, it's crazy. Man said, "Yo, Vidic, I know who you are." Laughing. I put a question mark. Big up Korean said, you know who gets an erection when he hears outcast Arteta and Arsenal. Sancho to Arsenal, 5-year deal with an option for an additional confirmed. Here we go, medical pending, you know. Man's doing the Fabrizio Romano's stick, you know. Crazy. Now, you know what? Even though, obviously, I'll tend to agree with Korean, I think even this is a step too far for Arteta, man, because, yeah, man's been linked with Italian clubs, Turkish clubs, all of that good stuff. So, yeah. He said, the Premier League club do not want to loan out Sancho for a 3rd time. I want a permanent sale. So they're going to have to make some movement from one side or the other. Bro, like I said, ripping up his contract might be a thing, though. Because, again, it'll just save you. Again, you probably have to pay off, obviously, all his wages or whatever. But he'll just save you paying off his wages for another season. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're not going to use him. And then, again, he's leaving on the free anyway. So, I don't know, man. Might be the case, bro. Even if it's a case of you buy him out his contract, but then you get like a transfer fee for him, that might be like, so it's, for example, Juventus say, yeah, we'll pay 10 mil, but we want to renegotiate obviously a new contract with him here, so he's not on the same amount of money. And then if he agrees and you just pay off his contract, you get a bit of transfer fee for him. They get to obviously negotiate a new deal in terms of contract, and then you pay him what he wants because obviously he's going to want paying the last year of his contract, and everyone's a winner. You get a transfer fee, he's off the books. You don't have to pay transfers again. So he pays wages again, and everyone's happy. But he says also here, Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce are also interested in the Manchester United outcast, but have not made any further inquiry at this stage. That's him with the UEFA Conference League. Should Chelsea have signed Sancho? Former Liverpool and Tottenham star Danny Murphy reckons Chelsea should have taken up the option to sign Sancho for 25 million. I feel like the issue was more that his wages, man. I think they probably were willing to obviously keep him on for another year, but yeah, he wanted too much money, man, in terms of the wages, bro. Like, again, if that's the case, 250. That's a lot of wages, man. That is a lot of wages, as well. And I feel like I don't think he warrants it, to be honest with you. Don't think he warrants it at all. But that's just my opinion, of course. But yeah, obviously I'll move on now to the obviously breaking news about another Manchester United player, well, former player, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Leicester finally confirmed Ruud van Nistelrooy's departure after weeks of silence, with Sean Dyche waiting in the wings. Obviously Leicester have been relegated to the Championship, and yeah, man, Ruud van Nistelrooy, didn't do particularly well, if I'm being honest, man. But yeah, I'll just quickly go through this article. It just says Ruud van Nistelrooy has finally left Leicester after weeks of silence about his future, with the players due to return for pre-season at obviously June 30th. Leicester have belatedly called time on the Dutch head coach, even though their relegation from the Premier League was sealed as longer as April 20th. I'm surprised that took that long. Maybe it was a case of they had to pay off his contract anyway, so they had to make it official maybe June 30th, so they just waited to make it official then. But I'm surprised they didn't just sack him before. That's the only thing I can think of. They probably would have had to give him like a payout before his contract ended. So this kind of contract just kind of expires. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. So yeah, remaining coach staff, including 2016 Premier League title winner Andy King, I forgot about him, will oversee preparations until a permanent appointment is made. King would be considered a replacement for Van Nistelrooy, at least on an interim basis. The timing of Van Nistelrooy exit is thought to be linked to Leicester's concerns over breaking spending rules. That's what I did think as well. His compensation package is now set to be deferred until next month, meaning Leicester will not have to include it in the 2 playoffs. Bro, they've had 2 playoffs in the last 20 or 12 months, sorry. Jeez, the Arsenal's managers, man. Crazy. Which obviously ends on June 30th. So yeah, it's not just obviously Arsenal. A lot of teams are trying to get past that kind of not paying certain things before the PSR kind of resets itself, kind of thing. So it makes sense. Van Nistelrooy's departure is the latest chapter in Leicester's troubled recent history. They face a possible another points deduction. Oh my god, they face another possible points deduction next season for breaking profitability and sustainability regulations in the 2023-2024 season. So obviously that was the season they got promoted. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's come back to bite them in the end, man. Obviously, they had a dire campaign in the Premier League, bro. They were terrible. And the 48-year-old took charge of 27 matches, but oversaw just 5 wins out of 27 and 19 defeats. And his side's fate was sealed with 5 games to go. The club said the termination of his contract was decided by mutual consent before praising his professionalism, integrity, and clear commitment. They added that Van Nistelrooy moves on with the respect and thanks of everyone. Senior figures at Leicester admire Danny Rowe, who is set to leave Sheffield Wednesday, and work with the Foxes technical chief Martin Glover at Southampton. Former Everton boss Sean Dyche has also been linked with a job. Yeah, you know what? It might be a Sean Dyche thing, to be fair, because again, I feel like he can definitely get a team out of the Championship back into the Premier League. Did it with Burnley on several occasions, so that might be the right step to go, man. It depending on how you want to move. Again, sometimes people want to go for that kind of like new kind of hipster kind of manager to try and have a philosophy, as as Van Gaal would say, philosophy. To obviously go into the Premier League. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. And as well, what I will say about obviously Sean Dyche, he's very good without spending a lot of money, for the simple fact that, like, again, when Everton had their problems, he didn't really spend too much and got them obviously kept them safe. And it looks like Leicester are going to be having point deductions and stuff. They can't spend a lot of cash, it looks like. So the squad that they've got, they're probably going to have to keep, man, the majority of them. So yeah, he might be able to work with the squad a bit better than said other managers would do. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that is definitely something to look out for. But yeah, he was appointed obviously at King Power Stadium less than a month after leaving his role as an assistant coach at Manchester United. Van Nistelrooy was enjoying a successful spell in interim in charge of Manchester United when Van Dijk Ten Hag got sacked last October. But yeah, he could not transition that into obviously into Leicester, and it's kind of a shame because I thought he actually did all right against when he was manager for PSV. I think he won them a trophy, and the football he played was okay. I know Arsenal faced him a couple of times in I think the Europa League, and he looked all right, man. But yeah, man, at the minute it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Leicester have effectively filtered away 2 months away, or whatnot. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how obviously they get on. Sean Dyche looks like it could be the guy to really take them forward for sure. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see, bro, about that, man. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of any other news that's dropped. Let's talk about this guy right here. If it changes. Let's talk about this guy right here, man. Gyokeres completing his move to Liverpool from Bournemouth. Obviously, they've signed him. He's agreeing a long-term contract. I didn't realize he was so young. I think I seen that he's 21. Gyokeres becomes the Reds' latest new addition in the summer. So yeah, he swiftly obviously moves on with his obviously the announcement of Yamanda Vert. So yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised, man. I'm actually very, very surprised. Pick up the chat. Sorry, I'm not even kept up with it. Boom. Let me obviously go back. Let me go back. Man said, how much was that a year, bro? I think it was 2. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you, man. I'm not even sure, Korean. Why doesn't United just subsidize part of his wages? Oh, he's 250k, apparently, according to that report, but I'm not sure if that's definite. I know I've seen 350 somewhere as well, so that might be a flat-based fee, but then obviously substitute appearances, goals, whatever, it might actually inflate. Why doesn't United just subsidize part of his contract and sell him off? I don't get it. That's what I was saying to do, man. If he's worth £25 million, just 20 mil and subsidize 5 mil when he moves. Yeah, instead of, bro, the fact that teams still want a loan, it's just because they can't move from him. Master Sean Dyche to Leicester, keep that bum away from my club. Bro, that heel turn on Sean Dyche, bro. I still think he's all right, man. Obviously, the ending at Everton wasn't great, but they didn't have any money. And I feel like with Leicester, like I said, if they're not going to spend much money, it might be a nice little stopgap. You get me? I said I would have had Rude up top right now over Højlund. Please, bro, come back. Don't make that Timu Haaland do his Mickey Mouse puppet gladiator celebration. The thing is, the celebration is actually cold. I think it's sick. It's just coming from the wrong guy. It's like right message, wrong messenger. You just need someone that's prolific. Because when he's doing it every week, it'll catch on for sure, bro. If this can catch on, then that one will definitely catch on, man. But yeah, it's just the wrong guy doing it, fam. Enough is enough. Man said, Korean, I can play striker for you, man. I've still got it. Oh, my days, bro. This guy, Sir Gareth to Chelsea, bot market. Sir Gareth. Oh, my Lord. No way, man. No way. Oh, yeah. I think it's you, Korean, that says Sir Gareth's better than my man. I can't remember his name now. The Chelsea manager, man. But yeah, man. I would love Carlos doing the Drogba celebration up top for Man United over Højlund. Man said Korean equals blocked. Please apprehend that terrorist. I will do the Tevez bum shake on your head top. Pause, brother. What are we doing? That's a why. That's a why for that, bro. Oh, that's crazy. Big up Gavin, my brother. Big up Tots. Big up yourself, bro. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, bro. Good to see you in the chat. We're talking about Gyokeres' move to obviously Liverpool and all that good stuff, man. It becomes obviously the latest addition in the summer after Florian Wirtz obviously arrived last Friday, so he's really happy. Pleasure to obviously join Liverpool, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, obviously he had an impressive 2 seasons for Bournemouth, made 74 appearances, scoring 2 goals, 8 assists. Yeah, 21 years old, man, and obviously he's from Hungary. He obviously played for AC Milan, AZ Alkmaar as well. And he's made 23 appearances for Hungary too. So yeah, he was shortlisted for the 2024-2025 PFA's Young Player of the Year and was obviously on the finalist for the 2023 Golden Boy Award, which recognizes the best European-based talent in the under-21s. I just want to thank everyone showing support, love, or whatever. And yeah, obviously that's obviously his kind of debut kind of interview with Liverpool, man. But yeah, I think it's a good signing. I think they've replaced Robinson pretty well, to be fair, because I feel like he definitely was past it, even though they won the league still with him playing the majority of the games. So yeah, I think that's him. He's done a good job there, man. He's done a very good job there. But yeah, man. I think he's done very, very well. I can't even lie. I can't even lie, people. But yeah. Big up the chat, man. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel as well, man. So yeah, hopefully we can start to get some signings for everyone else, man. But yeah, in terms of Man United, it didn't look like I said, Korean. I went through the quick article about you being linked with Osimhen, but again, I don't think there's anything concrete with it, to be honest with you, bro. There's nothing really concrete. I know that's the one player you wanted, but it seems like he's going Al Hilal, bro, to be honest, man. By the looks of it, which is kind of crazy, bro. According to obviously a couple of reports here and there, even though you remain interested in him. And again, it seems like his transfer fee or transfer valuation is 67 million euros, which is very cheap, man. That's like, 58, 59, something like that, million pounds or something. So under 60, bro, you got to be biting your hand off for that, man, for sure. Apparently, according to his report, they've done significant work. They've got Igalo on the scene to try and convince him, obviously fellow Nigerian, etc., etc. But I don't know, bro. I can't really see it happening, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like Al Hilal are going to be the guys that are trying to push to sign him, willing to pay his wages and stuff like that. So it's just whether he wants to go to Saudi at 26, man. I don't think he should, but you never know, man. Money talks. If he comes from obviously not privileged background, or he needs kind of money to try and get generational wealth or whatnot, it might be the best thing for him, for sure. It might be a better thing for him, man. But yeah, again, it's someone that I'm shocked that no more teams are actually interested in him, because again, 37 goals and 8 assists in 41 appearances on loan for Galatasaray. They won obviously the Turkish double as well, which is a very good achievement too. So yeah, man, I think it's definitely something that they need to obviously talk about for sure. But yeah, that probably concludes this obviously episode of transfer talks. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to raid to my boy Views on Sport. Go over there and say Tops raid, T-Transfer raid, all that good stuff. He should be online now. And I'll catch you, man, tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll be there. You be there. And yeah, peace and love, people. Don't hate to play the game. And I'll be out.